Hello, my name's Bev and I'm the author of the book Please Eat, A Mother's Struggle to Free Her Teenage Son from Anorexia, which describes our family's battle with the deadly eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, which my teenage son Ben developed back in 2009 when he was just 15 years old. This post is from the 3rd of October 2011 and it's called "Does your own internal voice chip in with this kind of thing on bad days?" On Friday, Ben claimed his insomnia was cured after a reasonably good couple of days at school. His mood was up too, but by Sunday it was back down again, just like last Sunday. And of course, with it came the insomnia, which meant that by this morning, which is a Monday, Ben was in a hell of a mood. In fact, the only words he said to me this morning when I took him to the school bus were, "Shut up," which I guess is better than "shut the F up." As a parent, you never do get used to the eating disorder treating you like a piece of dirt, do you? Okay, this kind of behaviour isn't exclusive to eating disorder teenagers. Virtually all teenagers are truly horrible to their parents at some time or other. But when the eating disorder is involved, it's a heck of a lot worse because you're painfully aware of just how much time and love you've invested in kicking the eating disorder out of your child's life, only to get verbally slapped in the face. And it's not just that. At times like this, all those worries surface again, which is your own internal voice telling you that there is still quite a way to go in the recovery stakes. This morning, my internal voice has been saying, "No way is he going to university next year. He wouldn't last 5 minutes. What the heck do I do now after we spent 3 whole hours last week talking through the school problems and we're back to square one?" Also, it's because his weight hasn't increased at all over the past month. And never forget that he is still lighter than he was when he first started CAMS treatment in February 2010. And the internal voice continues with, why don't you muscle in and make him eat more? What the heck is he going to do next year if he doesn't go to uni? Why, in our 3rd year of the eating disorder, does he still worry himself sick that eating a few extra calories will make him blob out into a fat monster? And finally, the internal voice says, "You failed. You're on to your 3rd year now and you're still battling with the eating disorder. Let's face it, you're going to still be battling with it 6, 7, 9, 10, 15 years from now. Ben will never leave home, never have a family of his own, never achieve his potential, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc." Does your own internal voice chip in with this kind of thing on bad days? And I will be extremely surprised if I don't get an email or text from Ben before lunchtime today saying this morning is very difficult or can I come and pick him up? Because we've had a similar scenario this time last week, there is a temptation to worry that we're back into the usual routine, i.e. Ben's mood is rock bottom all day Sunday, followed by a sleepless night, followed by a pain in the butt mood on Monday morning, followed by miserable isolation at school, followed by me having to pick him up early, followed by some kind of solitary activity in the afternoon. Tuesday is similar. But by Wednesday, things generally improve. Then the whole merry-go-round starts again at the weekend. P.S. He called me at break time and asked me to pick him up at 12:20, saying the afternoon teacher isn't here and I've done all the work for the lesson anyway. I'm not sure I believe him. And that's the end of that post. And I think it's self-explanatory. I don't think I need to talk more about the way that you invest so much time, love, emotions, everything into trying to get your child through the eating disorder. But the eating disorder itself just bites your head off, and you really sometimes feel that you're not achieving anything. And especially if that is, like in our case, it was 3 years on, and you're thinking, we'll never get through this. But of course we did, eventually. It took a long time. And now, in 2023, Ben has started his new job in mental health, helping other people with their mental health struggles. He also volunteers, helping people online with mental health struggles. He's a member of a men's mental health group that meets now and again on a Saturday, and it's amazing how he's using his own experiences to help other people. And not only did he go to university eventually, but he got a first-class degree in history from one of the top universities. Then he got a master's in medieval history from the same university, followed by a PGCE. He studied teacher training. But as I've said before, by the end of that, not only had the pandemic started, which made things very tricky for new trainee teachers, but with all the political stuff involved, and on this day of all days, today is the day when the teaching unions are on strike, he felt that he wouldn't be able to teach children in the way he really wanted to, which is such a shame, because he spent a year studying to be a teacher, and his teaching practice experiences went really well. He even had a letter from one of the parents saying how he'd made a massive difference to her daughter and how she thought he was wonderful. Following that, Ben went on to do the Masters in psychology, and not only did he get 92% for his dissertation, but he got a distinction for the Masters, and I can't tell you how proud we are as parents, how much work he's put in, how much dedication, and the way it's become a sort of vocation. Well, not a sort of vocation, it's become a real vocation. He knows what he wants to do in life, and he's dead set on doing it to help other people. And at some point he'd love to do a PhD in mental health again, a research doctorate. So fingers crossed that will happen for him, because he definitely deserves it, and I know he'd be really, really good at it. So anyway, yeah, I said I wasn't going to comment after this blog post, but I just started to waffle, and I won't waffle anymore. It's basically to say that when things are bad with your child, if they've got an eating disorder, those bad days, those dark days will pass. These things will pass. Maybe not immediately, but they will pass eventually. And hopefully, like Ben, your child will go on to achieve wonderful things and really make a difference in other people's lives, which is, at the end of the day, the reason for being here, isn't it? I mean, it's got to be the most wonderful thing to be able to make a difference, a positive difference to other people's lives. So yeah, thanks for listening. You'll find a link below to my blog, and you'll also find a link to my website where you can download free PDFs of my blog, and also a link to Amazon where you can buy a copy of my book.